So Fort Cavazos is quickly becoming Fort Hood, as they're already working on changing it, and we're going to talk about some of the other bases and who they're going to be named after. And starting with the first one, which was Fort Barfoot, will now be named back to Fort Pickett in honor of Distinguished Service Cross recipient First Lieutenant Vernon W. Pickett for his extraordinary heroism during World War II. And next up is Fort Cavazos, and it will be going back to Fort Hood, but will be named in honor of Distinguished Service Cross recipient Colonel Robert B. Hood for his extraordinary heroism during World War I. Now, Fort Eisenhower is going back to Fort Gordon and will be named after Medal of Honor recipient Master Sergeant Gary Gordon for his valor during the 1993 Battle of Mogadishu. Now, Fort Gregg Adams will be going back to Fort Lee, and it will be named after Medal of Honor recipient Private Fitz Lee for his heroism during the Spanish-American War. Now, Fort Johnson will be going back to Fort Polk and will be named in honor of Silver Star recipient General James Polk for his gallantry in action as commanding officer of the 3rd Cavalry Group during World War II. Now, Fort Nosable will be going back to Fort Rucker, and it will be named in honor of Distinguished Service Cross recipient Captain Edward Rucker for his heroism in World War I. And Fort Walker will be going back to Fort A.P. Hill in honor of Medal of Honor recipient Lieutenant Colonel Edward Hill, First Sergeant Robert A. Penn, and Private Bruce Anderson for their extraordinary heroism during the Civil War. Now, you can read more about this on Army.mil, but I'm already tracking the Secretary of the Army will take immediate action to implement these redesignations. Follow for more military-related news.